everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fourtress of a podcast about movies, TV shows, video games, and lots of pop culture and nerd things. My name is Oscar. I'll be one of your hosts today. And with me, per usual, are all of your other hosts. We got Alex, Ryan, and Devin. Alex, also known as the Brawn and the Dad. Ryan, the Beard, new reliable, and the Spider-Man villain, Mr. Negative, on a Dragon Ball Z redemption arc. And Devin, the Brains, also known as Mr. Nowhere. How is everyone doing? Rapid fire, because we got a packed show. And we don't want this to be 8 hours long.
What up? Yeah, we out here.
Yeah.
We out here,
good,
boy.
man. The whole four amigos. The four musketeers.
All 4 of us. Fourtress.
The
4 peas in a pod.
Yeah.
I don't know how many peas in a pod.
At least 4.
Minimum.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. Like I said, we got a packed show, so we're gonna get through this shit real quick. But also, just to let you know, check the time codes for anything you want to skip ahead to or avoid or spoiler stuff. It's all gonna be down there in the show notes. So with that, guys, let's just hop right into our first segment of the week.
News talk.
One real quick piece of news right now. Apparently, this was announced. The Rock on a little YouTube video. Live action Moana is coming. A movie that came out within the past 5 years, I feel. But I will say, I'm excited. Because I actually like that movie.
I think it's going to be cool.
I am obviously on the opposite end of the spectrum because I think this is ridiculous to make a live action movie of a movie that I can literally remember the songs of as if it was yesterday. What is going on here? What are we doing?
Did you not like Moana?
I love Moana. I think Moana is a great movie.
You're just not ready for more.
I'm not ready to have it ruined for me this quickly.
Oh, sure.
At least Lion King gave me 20, 30 years to, exist before.
I agree. It is definitely weirdly too soon, but I guess if they want The Rock to still be in it, they got to do it now before he, I guess The Rock's going to be that size for until the day he dies, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is the one time I'm excited for more of The Rock, though. I will not lie. As the podcast Rock hater.
I think it's going to be cool. But I see Brian's point of like, it feels like too soon, but I don't know. There's no rule that they have to like, wait. Like, oh, this is one of our old timey, like,
Capitalism has really gotten y'all, huh? It's really sold.
We were talking about this a bit before we started recording. It is a thing where it's like eventually it's gonna get to a point like the little live action Little Mermaid is coming out in a couple months, and it's gonna be like the day after it comes out, they're gonna announce, "Hey, we're doing an animated version of the live action version of the Little Mermaid."
I would not be surprised.
Yeah,
damn.
They're not even going for nostalgia anymore. They're just going for what we're seeing right now.
Yeah. They're going to end up just doing a live action and animated version of the same movie coming out in the same day.
Double feature, baby.
Yeah, it'll be cool. I wonder if they could get a lot of the people that did the voice acting in Moana to reprise their roles.
Actually, have they said it's the same cast or is it just The Rock?
I think they've only announced The Rock. I know that the girl that played or the woman that played Moana is an executive producer. I don't know if she's still going to play Moana, though. I would imagine not, because I feel she might be too old.
She'd be a lot older, yeah. So
yeah,
that's interesting.
But Tamora Morrison, they could get him. He could be the dad.
I'm excited to see The Rock with long flowy hair. That'll be fun.
Being bald for so long.
Oh, you think they're gonna do that?
Absolutely.
They gotta. It's in the script. It's in some of the lines.
I'm more interested if they're gonna like big him up, because Maui's like he's like big muscle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
Even bigger than The Rock. The Rock's like, damn, I got to get even more swole for this role.
We shall see. All right. Next piece of news, but first, guys, we are new segment. In this new segment, we're entering the trailer park. So, Devin, as the token white boy of the podcast, I need you to say "Mom's Biscotti." I need you to say "Mom's Biscotti" right for us. That's going to be the new theme. You can't say spaghetti because we don't want Eminem to sue us.
Wait, so Mom's Mispetti?
Whatever version of that you want to say.
Mom's. I'm pretty.
Oh my God, it's 2 words, Devin.
Mom's Biscotti.
All right, that's good. That's our new theme. There it is. We're in the trailer park, y'all. That means we're about to go through a shit ton of trailers and teasers because they put out so many. So let's get into it, starting with Blue Beetle, the newest DC film that'll probably not exist in the universe come James Gunn time.
Nice.
I'm on the fence with this one.
Never heard of him.
Brian, I'm interested to see what you think because I feel like you're going to hate this shit.
Why does it look exactly like Miss Marvel? Like they filmed it in some of the same rooms as Miss Marvel. Like the house looks like the exact same house that she lived in. Did it not? Am I tripping?
It looked like a house, but full of brown people. So maybe that's
maybe I'm just being hella racist. Jesus Christ.
Probably. Has anybody heard of this guy before though?
Yes.
Yeah, I know Blue Beetle.
I haven't read much, but yes, I know about this version.
I also played the video games in it as well. That had Blue Beetle in them.
Yes, yeah, because this is technically, I think, the second Blue Beetle comic wise. They're going with Jaime Reyes, which is cool. I've been hearing a lot of people saying this is like Latin people's Black Panther, and I just don't think it's gonna be as good.
Yeah, I think that's a little.
They're really reaching.
That's a little optimistic based on the trailer.
Yeah.
That being said, I do just love seeing people of color be superheroes.
Yes.
So I wanna hold out cautious optimism based on that. But this cut of the trailer is not giving me good vibes so far.
Ooh.
I'm like hit or miss, only in the sense like it could be fun, like a Shazam, very family oriented type of movie. But the effects, there's times where it looks real cheap. It looked like a Power Ranger movie, which might work.
I could see it doing well on like Netflix or Disney Plus, but
CW.
I'm imagining it's going to theaters, so we'll see.
The disrespect to call it a CW.
That's cold.
Maybe just straight
That's
to
cold.
CW. You know,
like I said, it feels very Miss Marvel budget wise to me, and then also it seems like the editing feels a little Miss Marvel to me as well. So I don't know if they took a lot of like accolades for that. I was like, okay, this looks good. Let's try more towards that to do that kind of same vibe. I'm kind of hoping they're not. I'm kind of hoping they're gonna have their own unique spin to it, but we'll kind of see.
I really like his ending pose with basically a big Buster sword from Final Fantasy VII. I thought that shit looked fucking dope.
That did look cool. That toy's gonna go hard.
Yeah, it's always hit or miss when George Lopez is in your movie. No offense to George Lopez, but
I love George Lopez. I watch the show religiously. I don't like him in this so far. It's not hitting.
He's got a real interesting look. I'll give him that. Yeah, so we'll see. I'll see it, most likely, I would imagine. But basically, I think James Gunn said if that does well, it might continue in his universe. But it might go the way of Shazam. Who knows? We'll see.
Oh, Rock can't ruin this one.
Next trailer from the park. Secret Invasion, the Disney Plus streaming service series with Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury. He's back.
I'm not going to lie. This looks kind of boring.
Ooh.
What?
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Oh,
it looked like a slower first Captain America movie.
See, I think it looks like a Captain America 2 movie, which is the best Marvel movie in my opinion. Give me some more spy shit.
That one was good, but this does not look as intense. I don't know. Maybe it's just the trailer is very very slow paced, which I'm fine with. But I don't know. I just didn't get super excited about it.
That's fair. Yeah, it's also gonna be a thing where it's like Samuel Jackson's what, like 75 years old or whatever. Like how much action can that man do?
Right.
So
a lot of walkie.
Yeah,
action.
I'm just excited again. Like I said, for the more serious aspect of the MCU to come back, a la Winter Soldier or Civil War stuff. And if they can kind of nail that stuff, I think I'll be okay. If it's a very interesting espionage show, especially with the Skrulls being the main antagonist, it looks like or they can be anyone type of thing. I thought if they play with that could be dope.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I already have anxiety about. Like, keeping track of all the Skrulls, because like they're gonna be anybody could be anyone at any time.
Yeah,
and they're definitely gonna play with that.
I feel like they're gonna have a post credits thing where it's revealed somebody important is a Skrull.
I'm about to say Don Cheadle's a Skrull.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be the whole movie is just like gonna be a wash. It's gonna be like a time travel thing where it's just they just erase everything if they want.
Oh, you're saying nothing's gonna matter at the end?
I feel like it.
Yeah, that's
could be.
I didn't think about that.
I don't know.
My second biggest question is: do you think Nick Fury will die?
Nah.
It'd be a good
and
send-off.
then he'll come back in another couple of movies or something.
I think they wouldn't kill him until a movie, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're never really.
Wait,
dead.
is this a TV show?
So it's a TV show.
It's
Yeah.
a show.
Oh, that changes things for me.
Yeah.
I could see this working better as a show. Because it felt the trailer just was like the setting was just so much.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I am interested to see the Skrull. One of the looks like the main antagonist Skrull is doing some stretchy power shit, a la Super Skrull. I wonder if they'll do some kind of Fantastic Four leading into shit with this. So I don't know.
That'd be interesting. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. I love the obligatory, like, where are the Avengers? I got to do this by myself. Like,
why?
Every
why
trailer,
yeah,
they have to do that now. Just to establish you're not going to see the other ones, or at least not most of them. Maybe one or two.
I'm also excited to see Emilia Clarke again. We haven't seen her since fucking probably Game of Thrones, I would imagine, for most people.
True.
So.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool.
She was in a Christmas movie that was pretty fun. I forget the movie.
She was in that Terminator movie that was really bad.
Oh yeah, I just forgot about that for a reason.
Shoved it from my mind.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Next trailer, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I guess I'll just say, listeners, if you want to avoid any kind of spoilers for this movie, skip this section, I would imagine. But I personally don't think it's that big a deal, but just skip if you want.
I did not watch the trailer. We can talk about it, but don't spoil anything for me. Or should I take my headphones out?
It's up to you, because me and Brian were both on the side that this didn't spoil enough, whereas Devin was saying it spoiled.
Oh, well, maybe it's a false flag or something.
I don't know, though.
I thought it gave away too much because it showed characters doing things and like fighting each other that they already introduced more in friendly. So it's like, it's just weird. They gave away a lot, it feels like. But yeah, maybe it's all just like a fake.
They're doing a Civil War situation.
Oh, okay. Like. I see.
Yeah.
I see. So are you guys excited to see it after watching the trailer? Or
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
This trailer got me more hyped than the first one.
More excited or less excited than before you saw the trailer?
Ooh.
More. I would say more excited.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good news. I had a feeling the internet was just pissed at the trailer and the movie wasn't going to be good anymore now.
That's a fair assessment.
You know the
given
internet.
The state of the internet. Yeah. I guess, Alex, take your headphones off for real quick. I got to mention something. I can't believe Sony's once again dragging the MCU into this with the whole Doctor Strange No Way Home reference. That kind of was hilarious.
Yeah, I was surprised when they did that.
Yeah, that's true.
And everyone was fighting about what world the MCU is supposed to represent, and then they basically just say it right there, and everyone's like, oh, shit, what?
That is cool, yeah.
Oscar Isaac sounds great as Miguel, I'll say that. Also, I can't take credit for what I'm about to say because I heard this in a different video or podcast, I don't remember. We get a lot of black versus brown in the world right now. I don't know what the world's trying to tell us.
Black Panther and then this. Like, come on, bro. I didn't know we had so much beef. What's going on, Oscar?
I don't know. We got to settle this.
And the white people sit behind.
Right.
Like, yes. It's just all going according to plan.
I think that's about it. Also, maybe there's a rumor that we might get a Tom Holland and or Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire in this movie, especially with that reference.
Cool.
See them in animated form, that'd be kind of dope. Or live action. Who cares?
Yeah, I did hear that Tom Holland was supposed to be in the first movie, but then they thought it was going to be Goofy, so they're like, nah.
I see.
I also saw one screenshot that the shitty like Spider-Man head that's drawn in like Microsoft
the
Paint.
Spooderman.
That Spider-Man was in there. Spooderman.
Oh boy.
Spooderman was in there at one point. So maybe he's alive and canon somewhere. I just love that whoever drew that in Microsoft Paint, you've now made it to the big times.
Hope they got paid. Go got a check for that.
Right.
Needs to.
I think that's all I got for this trailer. What do you guys?
I'm excited for it. I mean, I was excited no matter what. I could see no trailers and still be excited for this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it for me, it was something where I wish, and it got me, kind of on a tangent of just not wanting to see trailers overall.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watch a lot less trailers these days.
Yeah. I think movies are best going in blind, to be completely honest with you. I think that gives you the best interpretation of what you're trying to see.
Especially if I'm like scrolling and just trying to find what to watch, I'll just watch like a quarter of a trailer, not even half. Because once you get halfway through, it's already too late. Just a taste.
So on that note, more trailers.
Yes. Moving on. Next trailer. Teaser. Barbie. What the fuck is this movie? The movie ends with a beat-off joke. What is this movie?
Yeah, I haven't seen this trailer.
It ends with the Kens talking about how they're gonna quote-unquote beach each other off. And that is the ending joke of this movie. I don't know who this movie is for, but I'm excited for it.
I feel like it's got to be for like adults.
I think so.
Like us.
The biggest tell of that is that this movie was originally supposed to be starring Amy Schumer. We know Amy Schumer's humor, and we know how she is
that makes more sense.
It's supposed to be a little bit of a SNL kind of bit, I feel like, of Barbie.
I see.
Not to like discredit the director of this, because I hear they make really good work.
Yes. Greta Gerwig.
Yeah, but it's this movie looks ridiculous, and I didn't think I was going to want to see a Barbie movie.
I'm excited.
I'm now interested after seeing this show.
I have high hopes, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Gosling being in it.
He looks fucking ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Oh, it looks like it might be like a weird, like entering the real world type of shit. Because you see Will Ferrell in like a suit in it, and there's like actual humans that aren't Barbies in this movie. So I'm like, is this like Elf?
It's really weird because Homegirl like took off her heels and then still had her feet arched like the normal Barbie dolls.
That was
like,
great.
Little bits like that. Where it's like, that's so good. Like you didn't have to do that, and you just still did that. That's really funny.
That is funny.
I'm excited. We'll see where this goes. Next trailer. This leads into our next news topic. We're still in the trailer park. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny got a new trailer. I will say this one looked a hell of a lot better than the last one because I did not think the last one looked very good. I'm actually interested in this movie once again now.
I'm so under a rock lately. I didn't realize they're making an Indiana Jones movie until we started recording.
Harrison Ford loves Indiana Jones and will
sure
continue probably doing it until he dies.
Does he?
For whatever reason.
Wow.
He really enjoys beating up Nazis.
I mean, who doesn't?
Fair point.
Has he gone on the record saying he loves this character? Because I could see him hating a lot of these characters.
No, he hates Star Wars, but he loves Indiana Jones.
Right,
I'm pretty sure that was the deal he made with Lucasfilm in doing the most recent Star Wars movies was that he gets to do Indiana Jones 5.
Nice.
Amazing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it looks fun. I don't know. I'm not a big Indiana Jones fan personally. I just don't. It wasn't one that really stuck with me as a kid.
Oh shit, those movies fucking slap.
Yeah.
Like the first, like the original 3.
Oh, yeah.
Like freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched the original ones. The first one I watched was the one with Shia LaBeouf.
Oh no, you
Ooh,
started
that's
with that?
That's a big mistake.
Yeah. Before he became a weird guy that he became.
Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark is where you got to start.
They are hidden gems.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like they're not hidden.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people love them. A lot of
It's
people
pretty
love
popular.
them. I kind of slept on them until like late middle school, early high school.
Yeah, same.
And then
Ooh.
I finally checked them out, not expecting much, but I was like, whoa.
Yeah, fantastic.
Great adventure films.
You've turned me into it. So I'll watch this one and I'll go back and I'll watch some originals maybe.
No.
Oh.
I can't speak for this one. You know what I mean?
Considering
So I
this
would-
one looks like it might be doing some time travel, especially with a title called Dial of Destiny, I would imagine there are going to be a lot of references to the past movies. I would
Oh,
imagine.
true. Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
definitely.
like the best way to do it is start at square one.
And just don't watch 4.
Maybe skip number 4.
Let's just
Maybe
skip
that one.
Fair.
Yeah, Brian, here's what I want you to do, okay? Go watch the original Indiana Jones movies and then compare them to the new Uncharted
Yes,
movie
yeah.
that just came out recently.
Which I did see.
Which
That's
I will
true.
say, that movie's underrated, but okay.
Underrated.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, maybe you
Underrated?
weren't here. I enjoyed that movie by the end. I thought it was fun. I had low expectations, but yes,
Says the guy that
It's rated.
approves every movie though.
that's true. My positivity brings me joy in life. So
Yeah, no, that movie is very much rated. I don't think it is under or over. It is rated.
yeah, that's fair.
It is
That's fair.
exactly where it's supposed to be.
None of the people in the movie should have been in the movie cast wise, but the actual set pieces were pretty cool. But yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, moving on. Still in the trailer park, but now we're gonna talk about some Star Wars Celebration stuff, starting with the Ahsoka teaser coming in August. Guys,
Yes,
Rebels 2.0 is here. It's fucking.
I'm excited.
Here.
I'm ready.
Ahsoka
I'm
looks
excited.
good. It looks good.
I'm split with this. I think Ahsoka looks good. I think that some of the stuff they're covering looks good. I am getting really weird with like the set piece of Star Wars universes right now.
Mhm.
It feels very the Obi-Wan,
Cheap.
where like everything looks kind of like a set. Like it looks very
Mm-hmm.
cheaply
I
done.
think they're leaning into the LED wall a little too much. I think they need to
yeah, like
dial that back a bit.
exactly. Like when Homeboy, the old guy that I said was making fun of because he's really stiff, like he just missed his choreography lessons
Oh, sure.
every week for some reason. When he turns on his lightsaber, that looks like shit. That looks like shit.
Although I like that he's pulling his own version of the Vader corridor scene, though. I was like, this dude's a
Yeah,
fan.
right. So
Right,
I saw
right.
this theory that Ahsoka went into like an alternate timeline or universe or something
I hate it. hate it already.
where this is old man Anakin and he doesn't go to Mustafar and lose
Oh,
against Obi-Wan.
shit.
So he still turns to the dark side
Damn.
and has this like vengeful wrath or whatever
But he's
and
not
kills
a
a bunch of
super
rebels at
robot?
the ship. But he's not a fucking robot cyborg.
What?
I like the idea in a what if, but I hate the idea because that just means the movie means not the movie. The show means nothing at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but all of this kind of in between stuff means nothing anyway because the sequels suck.
Good lord.
So,
Amen.
I mean, Ahsoka is the one character that would have the power to retcon anything. So
It's
if
true.
anybody's excited, I think Devin should be excited.
We'll get into it because I think Devin's upset by our future news that we're about to
Yeah.
talk about.
Oh, sure.
I'm excited about it because I like Ahsoka a whole lot, and I just want to see her do well. But I am being a little bit cautious with Mandalorian being the way that it is so
Yeah.
far,
Mhm.
and Obi-Wan just being complete dog shit.
Yeah. Dude, I hope we get more of those. Like her episode of Mandalorian was so sick, like the samurai, like old Western kind of feel. I hope we.
I
get
just hope
a
the
little bit more of
choreography's
that.
better, though.
Like just
Yes,
kind of like
that's
yeah,
my
that's-
biggest.
that's
That's my
fair.
biggest.
yes, but just like a cool shot with like not a lot of dialogue with like their capes
Mhm.
I will
whipping in
say
the
it.
wind.
So the day that I die, lightsaber Star Wars is the best Star Wars. Fucking ships are cool, whatever.
Yes.
I need more lightsaber shit.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I was with you right there, but
Mhm.
I think I mentioned before on the podcast I watched Andor very recently.
That's true.
It's still super
That's
fresh in my
fucking true.
mind. It's still super fresh, but I think it is probably like that and Rogue One are undeniably the best new Star Wars things to come out.
I
Absolutely.
do. I absolutely agree with
yeah,
you. No question.
without
Yeah.
question, without
And
question.
there's no fucking.
They-
I mean, there's one lightsaber.
There's one lightsaber in all of it.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
But I was not mad that there was no lightsabers in Andor.
Yeah.
I
That's a
wish
good
that
fucking
more
point.
of their shows were like that because they just handled it so uniquely. I read something that the cast and the directors, everyone talked about it as if it wasn't a Star Wars film, and the director convinced everybody to not think about it as Star Wars and don't talk about it like it's Star Wars. We're just making a project.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
And I think also, like we were talking about earlier, I think the lack of LED volume-esque walls throughout that.
Oh
made
yeah,
that
sure.
shit look so much better.
Yes.
Very actually real.
Yeah. So like I said, Rebels 2.0, fucking Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who we knew was going to be in this, didn't know who. No, she's Hera from Rebels, which is fucking dope. We see Chopper the droid in there. Obviously, we know Sabine was in this. We see so we see her looking at a little hologram of Ezra. Gonna continue that story. And what they also announced at Celebration was Lars Mikkelsen, who was the voice of Thrawn in the Rebels show, is the man playing him in this show as well. So that's pretty dope.
That's pretty cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I feel
That's
like it
cool.
should have been Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
What's his?
That would have been interesting.
He looks like him.
That
Yeah.
is true. I feel that. I get where you're coming
I
from.
do
there.
too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Devin, I was saying you should be a fan of this man because he's Mads Mikkelsen's brother, and we all know how much you love some Mads Mikkelsen.
Ooh, I love some Mads Mikkelsen, dude.
And the only thing I know, one other thing I saw, obviously we see also Mon Mothma's in this, which fucking love her from Andor as well. I'm glad to see her back and doing more shit.
Is it the same actor?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
We see Ahsoka fighting an Inquisitor at one point in this movie, and I just want to say, like all Inquisitors, she's gonna kick the utter fucking shit out of it. That fight is gonna last 4 seconds because we all know Inquisitors suck. They are terrible at everything.
Yeah.
All right, that's coming in August. We're out of the trailer park. We've left. Peace out. Moving on to our last bits of news, still from Star Wars Celebration. 3 brand new Star Wars films were announced. Let's talk about the first one, aka Devin's absolute favorite. Is a movie set 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker, Devin's favorite movie of all time. And it'll be about the start of a brand new Jedi Order with none other than Rey leading it as Jedi Master.
Is she? Do we think she's gonna be the lead? I know we all know she's in it.
I think
she's
so.
gonna be the lead.
I think so. I think that makes the most logical sense.
Oh, but they haven't officially said that.
No, I
You're
think they just
speculating?
said she's in it, but yeah.
I hope they don't. I hope she's not.
No, I mean Daisy Ridley was back. Like it looks like it's going to be following her, and nothing against Daisy Ridley or John Boyega or who's Poe Dameron? Oscar Isaac, right? But like the actors were great in the sequels. What was not great in the sequels was the story,
the writing.
The thing that I'm the most sad about is that I let myself get caught up in like the rumors online that like, oh, they're gonna retcon it.
I told you, dude, that was never. How many times did we have to go over this, man?
Listen, I drank the Kool-Aid.
You were in the crazy people forums for too long, man.
Yeah, for sure. That was some Twitter deep dive because those movies made billions of dollars. There's no way they're giving up movies that made billions.
No. After this new Star Wars movie, after the end credits, Rey's character is gonna rip her face off, and it's gonna be a super scroll, and then the whole thing nothing matters. And then Yoda wakes up from a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's the day before Order 66, and it's just like nothing ever happened.
I mean, I would honestly prefer it. I really would. Like, I'm excited for like they announced like a Knights of the Old Republic thing, and some other stuff like before. That the High Republic looks really good.
We'll get some of that, but we have to get some of the stuff you don't want also.
And look, I see this as an opportunity for redemption, not just for Daisy Ridley and that character, but for post-sequel stuff. I think they realized the mistakes they made,
yes,
and this is a chance for them to do right. And also, like I said when we were texting about this, we get to see her with a fucking yellow lightsaber.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm sick of this blue being the main one.
Double blade.
I don't care. It's just a different color.
And also, like, yes, tell one story with these 3 movies. Do not tell one story, then contradict it with the next one, then contradict that one with the third one. Don't do that shit.
Oh, see, that's the other thing is that all 3 of these movies that we're talking about, which we'll get to the other
totally
2,
different.
are in completely different eras, which I love. Like, so they don't have to worry about setting Rey's movie up for 2 others afterwards. They can just be like, maybe we're only going to do 1 Rey movie. Maybe this is it. And then just leave it at that and never come back to it, or come back to it in another decade when Daisy Ridley's like 45 or whatever. I don't know. They announced 3 movies, but it's not a new trilogy. You know what I'm saying? So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Just it's just sad.
Not really. I just have little interest in continuing this story personally, but maybe this will, like you said, maybe this will bring it back, and I'll be like, okay, this shit slaps, and I'll be into it.
I mean, but you know what the most disappointing thing with it is that in Last Jedi they got so close to doing something really cool, which was like, hey, maybe this like dichotomy between Jedi, Sith. Oh, we can't be angry. We can only be angry. We the dark side, light side. They got so close to like just throwing that out and being like, let's just be Force users and have emotions. And like, maybe we've been too rigorous and too strict to these like rules. And they almost did it. Like they got so close. And then they just fucking threw that out. And like now Rey is going to do that,
gotta continue the
Jedi
status quo.
order because we got to keep the Jedi and the Sith fighting forever instead of actually doing something cool with it and like breaking the mold.
Devin, we haven't seen the movie yet, right? We
Sorry,
don't know what Rey's going to do yet, Devin.
Maybe she will. Maybe she'll be like, here's what people used to think, but really we should have these emotions, and I'm gonna be the Jedi to teach you how to love and be okay.
Maybe it'll be a progressive church. They allow LGBTQ community in there. You know what I mean? The guy will wear sandals and shorts. Your youth pastor.
Yeah, it'll be great.
I'm pissed.
It'll be fine.
I just think they're never going to happen because they just want to milk Star Wars until we die. So like they're just going to keep it.
This is true.
Red versus green.
That's why I'm excited for
lightsabers
yellow
forever, just in different forms and some yellow.
All right. Next movie that they announced, Devin already alluded to it. Not even an Old Republic, pre-Old Republic. James Mangold is attached to direct, who is also doing Indiana Jones 5, as we've talked about in the past. He did Logan and 310 to Yuma, 2 fantastic movies. It looks like he's got a good relationship with Lucasfilm still doing this. Talking about the dawn of the Force and the Jedi. Now, this
is crazy.
Is what I'm talking about.
This sounds fucking dope. This sounds like exactly what I want. Absolutely. Give me this. I want this.
Will there be lightsabers, though?
Last 5 minutes.
Yeah, it might start with Viper swords or something like that, whatever they call them in Knights of the Republic.
Oh, yeah, true.
Maybe they'll just be fighting with regular swords.
Maybe they'll just fight with sticks.
I feel like it'll be, I feel like it'll be before, like, this has to be like...
I don't think they're going to be, you think they're going to be Neanderthals?
This is going to be like the Big Bang.
Oh, God.
I feel like they'll be like fucking like far out aliens, like the brother, the son, the father figure in the, what was it, Clone Wars?
Yeah,
that kind of makes sense to me.
That would be...
Yeah, okay.
You just gave me so much hype for this movie with that statement. I completely forgot about that.
If we're talking about the dawn of the Force, the beginning of like time or whatever,
that's fair.
It needs to be fucking mystical.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool.
Because I guess we don't know if Star Wars. I guess we would have to imagine that the world existed pre the Force, and it was probably just boring as fuck. Or is the Force like the start of life? I don't know.
Is that what created everything? You know what I mean? Yeah, we'll go full religion on this one. We got Space Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hold up, guys. Midichlorians.
Oh Jesus!
I would rather throw up than hear anything else about midichlorians or think about the fact that Palpatine fucked at some point in his life.
Pump the brakes on the excitement a little bit. This is just going to be a docu-series on midichlorians.
They're going to create like a tiny little like animated puppet that is the first midichlorian. And that's going to sell their toys for that movie.
Yeah. Little hand puppet. Hello.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Like let's do more. And hopefully if this is done well and is successful, give us some Old Republic stuff. We know the Acolyte's coming, and that's some stuff like in that New Republic, Old Republic era stuff. So fuck yeah, let's go.
Man, I just hope all these directors take notes. They just look over at it.
Yeah,
man. Just take notes.
Golly.
Take notes. Doesn't have to be 100%, but take some notes.
I feel like James Mangold's probably got a few notes over there, though.
Last piece of news and last movie of this new trilogy. This is a Dave Filoni movie, live action. Most people it's been talking about. This is the culmination of the big Mando New Republic Ahsoka arc, which I would imagine is them all coming together Avengers style to take out Thrawn and the rest of his empire.
Oh, that'd be pretty sick.
Going on,
Yeah, I'm really excited for both these last two movies more than anything.
That's fair. But I also like how they're each in a separate era. I kind of really dig this model of going this way with Star Wars,
Yeah, do we know what era this Dave Filoni one will be? I feel like that'd be close to the Rey
one. Well, it's probably like actually like 30 years apart because right now they're like only like 4 to 8 years after Return of the Jedi, and the new trilogy was 30 years after that, and Rey's another 15 years after that. So
okay, so Mandalorian's taking place between
after Return of the Jedi, pre Force Awakens.
Got you.
And this glorious gray space that can just be like, we can do whatever we want here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, my biggest thing would be that the sets will look better. for this movie, I would imagine. Take notes, Dave Filoni. Don't use the volume for this whole fucking movie, please. You have more money now. That's all I ask.
It's like the backgrounds are good. It's just the boulders that are next to the characters that don't.
That you can tell I can throw with my bare hands really easily.
It looks like a theme park ride.
They're just shooting it in the Disney
Yeah.
World,
That is it. That is the news, guys. We told you, listeners, it was a big impact, but there was a shit ton of stuff to get to because the world decided to put all the news out this week. But we did it. We survived it. Guys, shall we move on to our main topic of the week and say goodbye to Alex and Devin for the time being, though, listeners?
Yeah, I'm gonna dip out and play some Mario Brothers while you guys talk about this.
You gotta get caught up on the story, right? Because Mario Brothers is such an intense story.
Gotta get caught up on the story.
All right, everyone, it is time. It's me and you, Brian. But first, we're in another fortress. This is a fortress. Very colorful. Very musical, I will say, in multiple ways. Dun, dun, dun. It's here. The day we've been waiting for quite some time to hear what Mr. Chris Pratt can do justice to our boy Mario.
What the fuck was this man gonna end up sounding like? Because they made such a ruckus over what this man, to the point I'm really practicing the voice, guys. Don't just you wait. It's a me Mario. That's not the voice, guys. Don't worry.
Yes, listeners, we are in the fortress of.
It was the voice.
It was the voice.
We're in the fortress of the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yes. The Super Mario Brothers movie, listeners. Look, we'll be honest. This segment's probably going to be the shortest out of all of our segments for this episode because, let's face it, this is a children's movie. So with that, without giving anything away, very quick non-spoilers. Brian, what'd you think of the Mario
Brothers? I am slightly split on how I feel about this movie. I think that I wish I knew less about how the world works and more about I just wish I was more ignorant, because ignorance is bliss when it comes to life. Because on one end, I think this is a perfectly fun movie. There's a lot of stuff that makes you do the thing where you're like, oh, I know that over and over again.
Yes.
This movie is just basically one big that. I think that it's fun, it's beautiful, it's magical. Most people probably like it. That being said, this movie feels like it was very much written by a bot or a person that just knew how to make money with a cash money making machine. Because nothing felt like it had any sort of heart or real worth outside of making you go, ooh, I love Mario, over and over again for about an hour and a half.
Interesting.
That being said, I would still give it probably like a 6.5, maybe 7 out of 10. I do think Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was a much better movie. That being said, it was the second crack at it. So, Sonic the Hedgehog, the first movie, was nothing to call home to mom about. Right. I do think maybe if they do end up making another second one of these movies, which I'm sure they will, it'll probably be a much better attempt than this. That's not to discredit this movie. I do think it's fun, and I think most people enjoy it.
Well, first off, I'll say I enjoyed this movie a whole lot, in the sense that I came out of this just like feeling joyful. This movie is just a blast of fun and joy, and entirely a children's movie. But also it could be a thing like I didn't go to Mario for the fucking plot. Like, right. What's the beat Bowser? That's the fucking plot to Mario.
When was the last time Mario had a plot? Let's be real.
Exactly. So. And I know this movie's getting really shit on critically, as opposed to audience score, at least for Rotten Tomatoes, which is whatever, who cares? And I will say that if you expected Mario to be Inception or some shit like that to make you think, I think you went to the wrong movie. I also know that animated movies can be that, though. I know that there are many more animated movies that are more cerebral, I guess I would say. But it's also okay to not be that. Right. And I think that's where I came from, in the sense that I was totally fine with just seeing the pretty colors on the screen, catching all the Easter eggs and references, hearing the music of this iconic franchise, and just having kind of fun with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's where I'm really struggling the most, because on one end I'm like, what the fuck are the critics smoking? What are they thinking here? Like, I definitely think there shouldn't be, but we shouldn't have such high expectations for movies like this. But at the same time, we do have such heavy-hitter animated movies that have come out, with the Detective Pikachu's, anything Pixar puts out. I think even Sonic 2. Puss in Boots recently came out and made, unfortunately, a lot less money than this movie's going to make. That had really real hard-hitting stuff that was happening in it. And like you said, it doesn't necessarily have to have it. Not every movie has to be, like you said, fucking Good Will Hunting or anything like that. Every once in a while, you're going to get a fucking Napoleon Dynamite, and that's perfectly fine. But it's like, yeah, it just feels jarring to be like, they really could have put more effort into that storytelling and probably still done exactly what they wanted to do. But it seems like they almost forgot to because they wanted you to just sightsee. This movie feels like an amusement park to me more than it feels
Oh
like
my
a
God,
movie.
yeah.
Which once again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just different than what I was expecting, I guess.
Right.
So I guess that's why it was kind of jarring for me personally.
And I think that might be, where we differ the most is that I kind of was expecting just a ride. So that might be where we differ a bit. And also in the sense that, like, I wrote this down. Mario is just John Wick in the sense that John Wick is not a complicated story. It's a revenge tale. Mario is not a complicated story at all. It is meat and potatoes. And sometimes that's good. And sometimes that's fine. And it's also like, sometimes I don't need every animated movie to be, I don't need a Bambi moment. I don't need to be traumatized for children to have trauma in their animated movies every time. Not every movie, obviously. So I think, that's why I think where I just had some more fun with it. And
I think it could always almost be more straightforward if they didn't want to tell a real story. Like, don't even put the man in Brooklyn. Don't even have any of that shit. Just make a guy go to the castle and beat the fuck out of Bowser. The end.
That's where I will say it's like it looks like there were attempts at it, but they're just kind of just very shallow, very shallow.
100%.
And we'll get more into that. So yeah, spoilers from this point on. I would say, listeners, if you really don't want to know spoilers, and believe me, it's not really plot based, but
the only spoiler I can tell you is what point in time you can see a new Easter egg.
Oh God, and this movie is chock full of them. That is one thing I will say. Also coming out of the theater, in that I want to see this movie again. I'm not gonna go to theaters. I will wait till it comes out, but I can't wait to watch this movie again just to see all the cool different things in the background. Because like you said, it is a fucking beautiful fucking movie. This is one of the best looking movies, animated movies I've seen.
It is one of those movies that I even said it in the theater because I went with a friend, and I was like, it's so crazy to me that I lived through a time that I got to see the original Toy Story and then see this. You know what I mean? Like, this is beautiful. Like, I just, the colors and the lighting and the character design, like, they really had the Illumination to work their ass off to make this movie. They really did something special. I don't know if Nintendo was just cracking whips or fucking putting people in prison, but goddamn, that was a really visually impressive movie for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like they said, like, we fucked this up last time 30 years ago, and we're not going to do that again. Like, yeah.
For sure, yeah. No, it's so pretty. I would say if you just like pretty movies, see this movie. It's visually impressive.
And I would also say, like, it might also help being a fan of the franchise, catching all the fun bits and hearing that music. Because I will say, one of the highlights for me, and I wrote this down, sorry, Sonic, because it's going to be hard not to compare those two. Those are probably the two of the most iconic, and they were also rivals, and in the 90s especially. I will say I think they did a better job incorporating the music into this than they did with Sonic.
100%. I do want to talk about the music for this movie, but I do want to say that, yes, please, if you're going to make a new video game, and I think The Last of Us definitely took from that, thank God. If you're going to make anything that has to do with use the music. There's so much effort put into making music for video games to not use that music when you do try to reinterpret this into something else like a movie or things like that. Sonic leaned way too heavy on licensed music when Sonic is known for its music way more than even Mario is. So it's just such a disservice to Sonic to be like, yeah, we'll rather put some fucking, 90s metal in there instead of putting fucking music that was made by Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you thinking? What is going on here? So I do think that they did a great job by making sure they incorporated that. That being said, these 80s songs they put into this goddamn movie are useless
talk about the needle drops?
and not fucking good. I hate every single song they put in there. None of it felt good. None of it felt right. And I really wish that as movies, we would get away from this. I know that you want to get people to be like, I know that. I think we're over this now. I think we're too smart as a society to need music that we recognize to feel, encapsulated by a movie anymore. Maybe that's
right.
me.
I will say, like, I agree with you on the most part. I will say every song in this worked for me except for Take On Me.
Really?
Because I saw this with Jackie because she was in town, and that was the one song when we were watching the movie, we were like, oh, this is fun because it's a good song. But after the movie, we were like, that's the one song that did not fit whatsoever. And I have a bit of a trivia that has come out news-wise in a second. But like I thought, obviously, like No Sleep Till Brooklyn, blah, 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 the Beastie Boys song. I mean, they're in Brooklyn. I get that. That worked for me. I thought Holding Out for a Hero, I will say he's getting a lot of play. Started with Shazam, and then that song is getting a lot of play this year.
Right. Royalties are going up, baby. Spotify's hitting.
And then the Mr. Blue Sky at the end, which Chris Pratt and Mr. Blue Sky, because that song is also in Guardians, I think 1 or 2, I can't remember. It's like, all right, apparently they're attached to him in that song. But that Aha song was the one that I was like, this didn't fit at all. And I think there might be a reason for it, because recently in a piece of news has come out about people theorizing that, because on the soundtrack, there's a song called Driving Me Bananas, which incorporates the Donkey Kong Country theme and some other Donkey Kong-esque themes, and it seemingly fits perfectly in that section. And it seems like they just at the last minute took it out and randomly threw in this Aha song.
Those
for
fucking suits,
what
man.
reason?
Yeah, I'm telling you, they just think that it's just gonna get more. I almost think that it's harder to make a movie for children because you always have to keep adults in mind. You have to remember that someone has to get the kids to the movie theaters. So you end up walking this weird tightrope of how much adult content I want to put in and how much children's content I want to put in. And it's always a kind of like tiptoe of what you want to do. I think that this movie definitely flailed a lot more to the children's aspect, whereas a lot of movies are doing more towards the adult of like, we're going to sell jokes that children aren't going to get, but they'll still laugh at because it's funny. Because Puss in Boots fell, look at him, he fell. But then he also said something about like capitalism. So you're like, oh shit, everyone else gets it too.
Right.
This movie fell on that later. So I think that to compensate for that, they started putting the shit that's like, oh, this is a game made in the 80s. Let's put 80s music in here. You know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah,
okay. I mean,
it was
sure.
interesting.
But was that a good choice? Like you said, Take On Me, I think was the worst one. No Sleep Till Brooklyn was probably the best one. Just because it was funny in the context of what was happening.
Right.
Probably by the third song that I heard, I was like, okay, I'm over this. You know what I mean? I had a great overture of a song that I know that's very well known because it's like in the very first Super Mario Brothers. That was great. I love that.
Yeah.
I think most people in general have played Super Mario Brothers. Like, you're working with a franchise that isn't just like, oh, we have to be a gamer to understand. Like, no, everyone knows this. Push more towards that. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not keen on making money. I don't have any money, but I just feel like there's better ways to do this than whatever.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Like what we talked about. I think that's why, at least for me, the music was mostly a success when it came to the actual score of the movie, not just the needle drops, because they incorporated all of that music. That music is fucking iconic, and I think they took advantage of it and was like, yeah, throw it in here. I remember one specific moment at the very end. We're already in spoilers, listeners, so we're spoiling the movie. Right before Mario and Luigi get superstarred, I asked Jackie, she could hear me going, dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
I was like, I'm waiting, y'all better do it. And they fucking did it.
They had to
and it
do
was great.
Yeah, it was one of those things. I mean, yeah, it's like little moments like that where it's like, they have to do it because if they put any other music in there, it just wouldn't make sense. And that's the thing that like makes your heart warm. That's the dopamine releasing of like that kind of stuff is so important in these kind of movies because it's if there's a movie about nostalgia, about Super Mario and your feelings with it, you gotta do it.
Yeah.
The funny things with Bowser. I mean, Bowser, we can talk about Bowser on the piano.
I was going to say, let's talk about Jack Black.
Yeah, let's talk about Jack Black 100% asked to do this. There's no way that he was asked to do this. He wanted to make a song that was goofy as shit because he just did Tenacious D. He went straight for it.
I loved it.
Sung his little song about peaches, 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 peaches. His little pet name for Peach, which of course we know there was a lot of canon about him wanting to marry Princess Peach. And that was his reason for stealing her all the time. Because he didn't just want to kidnap her for whatever reason. He wanted to actually marry her.
Which I had no clue.
Yeah, that happens more in like the later games, as far as I know.
Right.
I think Paper Mario was the first game I remember that actually talks about him wanting to actively marry her. So I thought that was a little interesting addition.
I mean, he's still doing terrible shit. Don't force someone to marry you, Bowser. That we don't support you. You're gonna get canceled. But
it's better than one to like kill her or like extort her or anything like that.
Yeah. But I love that they dove into that. Yeah, he loves her. He's infatuated by Peach. And so as soon as Jack Black started playing that, I was like, oh yes. This is it right here. Here we go.
That one of the best things about that I noticed was like the Ludwig von Bowser piano that he had, and I was like, oh, that's a little interesting addition they got going on there.
See, that is an adult joke right there.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. The kids would never understand that. And then the music that he plays, like he plays a little like overture, like talking about peaches and whatnot, and then he brings Magic Coop with him. I forget what the actual character's name in that, but he's a Magic Coop.
Wizard.
Yeah, and then he plays the dunna dunna dunna. He says, let's jam together real quick. Bling, bling, bling of him collecting the coins and stuff like that. Like that's good.
Great.
That was a good joke. I feel like they overdo it with the Easter eggs outside. Like, you know what I mean? I think Sonic maybe does it better. Maybe that's just me being biased. I like Sonic, but they're so quick to the point that I can almost barely stay with the movie because I'm too busy looking in the background to see if I'm missing something. I'll be like, ooh,
Right.
what about that right there? Oh yeah, that right. Oh, level 1, 2. This is level 1, 2 because you know that it's this and this and
Yeah.
I want to watch the movie and enjoy the movie, and then also be like, oh shit, that thing that he's doing right there has to do with this and this and this. I didn't have
That's
time to
fair.
catch a breath when it came with this movie because it just seemed like they were just trying to fucking shoehorn
Yeah.
everything directly into my throat when it came to this.
And for me, that it might have worked because of the plot. I didn't give a shit. Like, you know, like
He said I wasn't
it's
watching
like
it for the
whatever. So like, give me more of the eye candy because that's all I'm care. That's what's keeping me going through this movie, anyways.
Right.
So that's, I think, the way I was mostly fine with it. Catching all the references and trying to see as much as you can was a lot of fun for me personally. The only last piece of music, since we're still on the subject, obviously, is the Mario, the rap song at the very beginning. They're making a commercial out of it, which is a lot longer than I think we got in that little teaser earlier. They actually did like a full version of it, which I thought was a lot of fun. And that is where we get the acknowledgement, which I'm kind of happy. I assume that this is what they're gonna go in terms of the accent. They do the classic Mario accent in that commercial only, and they make jokes about it, how ridiculous it sounds, and then they move on. You
And they move
know?
on, and then isn't it his dad himself, which is Charles Martinet, who plays the voice of Mario, that says, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it sounds pretty good. I was like,
Wearing a little red hat as well. It's like, nice. Very
yeah.
nice.
No,
Well
I
done.
love that they did introduce Charles Martinet into the movie itself, and have him have like a little like pass off
Yeah.
to Chris Pratt when it came to the voice, where like, yeah, we still got to, because one of my biggest gripes about making movies like this is you have a voice cast already that does exist and does do this. Did I want to hear Charles Martinet do the voice of Mario the whole time?
Fuck no.
Absolutely not.
Fuck no.
But there's a lot of places in the world where I feel like it would make more sense to get the person that's been doing the voice for however many years to continue doing the voice. And oftentimes we get A-list actors instead, like this. So to still get my boy a paycheck, I'm always be hyped for that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So that was cool.
Since we're on the subject of Charles Martinet, I did have a theory where I was hopeful that this was what they were going towards in the movie, and they didn't. I thought for a split second, because towards the end of this movie, Mario needs a little bit of motivation to take on Bowser. He's in that same the Punch Out pizzeria, where we see Charles Martinet's little character cameo earlier. He's back in there sitting on the ground. He's gotten his ass kicked, and he's looking in the mirror, and that's where he decides to, I'm going to fight Bowser. I thought for a split second, just because they were in that same pizzeria that we saw Charles Martinet's character earlier, that he was going to come out from like crawling behind the counter, also hiding like with a bunch of people or some shit. And he was going to be that final motivation to get Mario to go out there. And I was like, that would have been amazing.
That would have been good. That would have been good. It actually wrote a better movie already. Just from that moment.
It did not happen. It was still fine. And, Mario does it on his own. But I just thought, I was like, oh, that would have been pretty sweet. But going back to, let's just quickly talk about Brooklyn, in the sense that obviously this is a reverse Sonic scenario where Mario is from our world, seemingly from Brooklyn, and he goes into that magical world. But I just found it so interesting. Let's face it, Mario looked like he 100 years old. And his parents are still like, Mario, you suck at life. What are you doing?
Right. They still living in the fucking, I don't know if he's supposed to be 21 or is he supposed to be
I think he's like
48?
25, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, man, got some facial hair on him for sure. Because he went to his room and was playing video games. I was like, wait, how old is this man right now? Is he 48 or is he 25? What's going on
He's
here?
so old.
And then his parents did not look bad for their age either. However old they're supposed to be, like they didn't look his age.
Right? It's a weird thing with it's the mustache. It's that that mustache. Yeah. Which, speaking of hair, I loved seeing them without their hats on. Him and Luigi.
I was like, the first time I remember seeing Mario without his hat on was Mario 64. You can get your hat fucking knocked off, and that was the first thing. So I was like, that's an interesting homage. My friend that I watched it with instantly like, I hate this. I hate him having his hat off. Please never take it off. I don't know if she's played Mario 64, so that's
funny. That and their gloves. I was like, oh my god, Mario got hands underneath them white gloves.
No, the gloves I hated because his fingers looked way too real, but in a wrong way. It was an uncanny valley because they were really stubby, but then like they were just so well modeled that I was like, nope, hate it. Don't want it. Don't want to see it. This is worse than seeing Sonic's feet. Don't want to see it.
The only last thing I have for Brooklyn, really, I do love the little when the Beastie Boys song is playing, the side scrolling, he's jumping through the construction site.
Oh yeah,
and very very side scrolling 2D shit. I was like, very nice. Love that shit.
We went straight for Donkey Kong. Love it. I'm not Donkey Kong. What was I wrote it down. Wrecking Crew was his game with
Oh,
That was one of his first games before he was actually known as Mario. He was in Wrecking Crew.
right. Okay. Oh, I see.
Which brings it to Spike. That's one of those Easter eggs. Spike, the guy that doesn't like him, is he's the main antagonist of that game in Wrecking Crew.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't. I assumed he was someone, but I was like, I don't know who that guy is.
That's a deep cut for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, that makes more sense. I was like, they're getting a lot of play to this guy. He's got to be some kind of reference.
Because Mario actually wasn't always a plumber. He was a construction worker beforehand.
He's a lot of shit. He was a boxing referee. He did a lot of shit.
A doctor, man, was a whole ass doctor.
Doctor, yeah. And then obviously we get into Mario's giant peach adventure through the Mushroom Kingdom. Mushroom Kingdom is beautiful. Again, like the rest of this movie, it looks incredible.
They went with a Mario 64 castle. It looks like aesthetic with a giant window in the front. Princess Peach in there. I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, oh, I remember that. I've jumped around there.
Yeah.
Mario's at the top. I mean, not Mario. Yoshi's at the top. Have you ever heard that story? Like if you get all the stars and then go to the top.
Oh,
Yoshi's
right.
There?
Yeah. Never played, but yes.
You never played Mario 64?
Well, I've played. I never owned, therefore never beat Mario.
Please go quote unquote own, and by that I mean download an emulator and play that game. That it might be arguably one of the best games of all time.
I know. Yeah. Again, I was never a big Nintendo-y kid. Like the only Nintendo games I had was like GoldenEye and Diddy Kong Racing. I didn't even have Mario Kart. I had Diddy Kong Racing, so.
That's wild.
Yeah. So this is why I feel like I'm not even the biggest Mario fan, and I had a blast with this movie, So yeah.
I mean, same for me. Like after N64, I didn't play a whole lot of Mario in my life, but I still managed to get like a lot of the references and stuff, which I think was as a testament to how big Mario is as a franchise, and also how well this movie did, and like trying to reflect that, I guess.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Toad. I think Keegan-Michael Key is fantastic in this movie.
Oh yeah, he did amazingly in this. I think he was probably one of the best performances in this movie, for sure. Because, man, he was killing it. His jokes, some of those jokes are landing really well. And especially, I think a lot of them, where he's like, I'm not afraid of anything. Shit like that was just so good. I don't know. I loved it a whole lot.
I love when he rolls out in his big ass, like 4-wheeler Mario Kart cart. And he's just got the shades on and the speakers blasting. I was like, yes.
It's such a children's joke, but it just hits well for everybody that I was just like, yep.
It does.
Seeing the audience reaction, I think was my favorite part about that kind of stuff that was happening. Where I was like, everyone's feeling this. That's good.
Depending on the energy of the room, it will sometimes influence you a bit. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think my second favorite Toad, because there are a lot of different Toads, but my second favorite Toad is the very serious Toad with the glasses in the war room when he's like
the one with the mystical voice.
Yeah.
I was like, why does he sound like that? Everyone was like, hi, my name is Toad. He's like, princess, we need to make sure we get the troops.
He's so serious.
Okay, sure.
And then in this whole process, we get a little bit of origin stuff. This is where the movie became a 10 out of 10 for me. We got fucking Baby Mario. That's all I needed.
And it was actually like they did the modeling of actual Baby Mario and Baby Boobiji.
And Baby Boobiji.
As we used to say, we used to play Cario Mart in college.
Yeah.
Baby Boobiji.
Yeah, that's the only reason, because Baby Mario is my Mario Kart go-to. Used to be Toad, but then with the Weavers and they introduced Baby Mario, and I was like, that's my boy. So no notes. That was it. I loved it. It was great.
That was good. And then Peach was adorable. Little
baby Peach. Yes, absolutely. And speaking of Peach, I love how they kept her origin kind of vague. Like she may be a human, but maybe not. Like she talks about there's a bunch of different galaxies and planets, so we don't know where she came from. And I kind of like that they just kept that vague, because it is weird that she's the only human-looking person amongst all these fucking Toads.
Right.
But speaking of Toad, I have to say one more thing about him. Toad is the fucking Samwise Gamgee of the Mario universe.
Oh, yes. My man carries. He carries.
He carries. He's got pots and pans on his back. He's like he loves to cook and eat.
I love
he
that.
He is
They pulled so
100%
much from
Sam.
what's his fucking, was it Toad's Adventure or whatever that came out on, was it
Captain Toad?
Yeah, where they had like the frying pan was a big part of that game, and I was just like, that's a really good addition that they didn't have to do. You could definitely do it really like generic or whatever, but they made it so like he had his backpack on and everything, just as he's in that video game. He's the backpack, and the frying pan. And he does cook in that game, so it's just like, hell yeah, bro! Like we're really making that a whole thing. So that's Toad's canon,
right?
When it came to that kind of stuff, and they do the same a little bit with Luigi, not nearly as much. But they definitely had some Luigi Mansion vibes during his segments and stuff like that. Which I guess we can talk a little bit more about. Kind of Luigi's character in the story is interesting. And I know there's been gripes about kind of how people feel about who the damsel in distress is in like this movie.
Oh, right.
It's not Princess Peach. We know that Princess Peach, she's in another castle, all that kind of stuff. That's been a big theme for a lot of older Mario games. But in this game, or this movie rather, it kind of feels like a game, so it might as well be a game. In this movie, it's very much that Luigi is the one that gets captured.
Right.
He's the one that Bowser takes and that Bowser holds captive while Mario's trying to, save the world. Whatever the fuck. Yeah. Which I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I'm fine with it. I mean, obviously, like, I'm totally fine with, like, Peach being the one that kicks fucking ass when she does that obstacle course. She's the best at it. She even does her little floaty thing when she comes down. She does all the cool
Mario
shit.
2 shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. But with Luigi, for one thing, I'll say I think they could have used a little more Luigi Mansion stuff. I think they had a perfect opportunity to do a little more. But I would also say maybe they're saving that for, which I would imagine this movie's going to create spin-offs of this franchise.
Because, that staircase that he was in specifically, when he found himself in that, like, dark world, looked very akin to the original Luigi Mansion, like, staircase that I feel like is known for, like, all of the gameplay demos and stuff like that. But then for it to be, like, Shy Guys in there, I was like, wait a second. What?
Yeah, I'm surprised there weren't any boos.
Yeah. I was expecting something different there. Maybe some ghosts of some sort.
Although those Dry Bones and those Shy Guys were fucking terrifying.
The Dry Bones. I did like they did that, and they did the whole thing where they, like, zombified, where, like, they do come back when you knock them out. I thought that was pretty cool.
But yeah, I think I'm fine with Luigi being the damsel in distress. I think by the end, which we'll talk about probably in a little bit later, I was totally fine with how they treated Luigi. I can understand people's gripes that they wish Luigi was in this a little more, which
that was
I agree.
My biggest gripe was that he was not in there enough.
Right, because I think Charlie Day's great.
Yeah, he was kind of wasted almost. There was definitely like a 30 minutes where I was like, are we going to see him again?
Right.
Is he coming back?
Right. Because again, like, I'll just talk about it now. The movie's called The Super Mario Brothers. And I think that's always been a thing for even the games where it's called The Super Mario Brothers, but Mario is the star.
Right.
Which I think I love by the end of this movie. Like, this was very much, this whole last segment of them fighting Bowser in the real world, like, got me emotional for some reason, dude. From the moment that Luigi stops the fire from hitting Mario with the sewer grate, that 100% got me emotional in the sense of, like, yo, this is a Kingdom Hearts ass moment.
You're
right
so
now.
easy. Come
Dude,
on,
it is.
man.
This is some Kingdom Hearts shit right now. This shit is easy. I don't care. That shit got me. And in the sense, like, because I wholly expected Mario to kick ass at the end. And so when they did the twist that they both get the superstar, I was like, that's awesome. Because Luigi doesn't get as much credit. And I kind of love that this movie's called The Super Mario Brothers. Let the brothers save the day at the end. So that shit worked on me in the sense I was happy that they did that.
It sucks in the two player versions of the Mario Brothers, because if you do, like, say, like, you know how you have to play, like, back and forth, like if you have a 2-player game, how you play as Mario, then you play as Luigi when Mario dies or whatever. If you beat the game as Luigi, Princess Peach still kisses Mario. You can beat the whole entire game as Luigi, and he still doesn't get shit. It's so trash. So it makes me so mad.
Funny.
So yeah, I do like that they did give him his little, like, time to shine as well. He's like, I'm brave. I've been brave the whole time, whatever. But it almost doesn't hit as well for me because he doesn't have enough to do in the movie itself. Like, I think maybe this movie would have hit more for me in a Mario Brothers way had they had two separate journeys.
Like adventures.
Yeah, two separate adventures that were going parallel to each other to kind of find each other again. And then Princess Peach was also there kicking ass, whatever. But the fact that his whole job was to just be captive.
Right.
That hit kind of, and once again, that's just the story is the story. It's nothing. It's a nothing sandwich. I can be okay with that. But if I did want more of a story, I would want something closer to that, I think.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Yeah, let's we kind of talked about
we've gotten some characters at this point, so you want to talk about Princess Peach?
No, let's talk about Donkey Kong real quick. I think
let's talk about Donkey Kong.
That's the last bit we haven't really mentioned. Seth Rogen doing Seth Rogen shit, you know. I feel like there are times where I'm like, oh, he's doing a voice, and times where I'm like, nah, he's doing Seth Rogen.
Yeah, no. It's so funny because Jack Black does such a good Bowser that doesn't sound like Bowser. I mean, it doesn't sound like Jack Black. Whereas Seth Rogen was very much, like, we make a lot of fun of Chris Pratt's voice in this. Seth Rogen.
Dude, I think Chris Pratt's fine. You get over it very quickly, at least I did, you know?
Yeah. I thought I also was like, it's fine. I'm not
it's whatever.
Wild, and it's not whatever. I thought he had one of the lower performances. I think Seth Rogen only gets a pass because he's Seth Rogen.
Right.
If he wasn't so funny in what he was doing, I don't think it would have worked at all because he's just being Seth Rogen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, to be fair, if you were someone that did watch the Donkey Kong terribly animated TV show, that was 3-dimensional and disgusting, they did use a similar voice to what Seth Rogen is using. That's the only other reason I'm like, yes, he definitely had like I'm a cool guy. Guy DK.
Yeah.
That was just lucky casting, maybe.
Right. Yeah, I liked his characterization I like how both him and Mario got bonding over their daddy issues. I love that.
My favorite part was when he whispered, "I hate you."
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I like a lot of. I loved. Man, I kind of want a fucking Mario Donkey Kong buddy cop movie at this point.
I think
Like,
that'd be
the
great.
two of them together was great.
Yeah, especially because their differences and it was good.
And like, because it goes back again to Mario's origins in the sense that those two are very tied together in terms of their origins in video games. So I love that they gave credit to Donkey Kong so much, you know?
Yeah, I mean Donkey Kong is where Mario's like first introduced. Is
Yeah.
that game maybe? It's either that or whatever the fuck else.
Literally a game called Donkey Kong where you don't play as Donkey Kong.
Right, Donkey Kong's the antagonist in it, and you
Yeah.
save. Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. It did well. They did well. I like that they went to the Jungle Kingdom. That's a different kingdom that's still
Yeah.
in that universe, so they're all tied into the same universe.
Mhm.
Which was kind of cool. Diddy Kong was there.
Shout out
That
to
was
Diddy
fucking
Kong.
cool. I didn't think
Yep.
that was gonna happen.
I also think Candy Kong was in the background somewhere
Yeah.
as well. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure she's back there. Obviously, Cranky Kong, he's the leader there and everything. And then that's where we get the big Mario Kart action sequence, which I thought was fucking great.
I thought it was very interesting that they made a new canon that the Donkey Kong people are the people that make the carts. They're the kart
Yeah.
racers. Yeah, I was like, interesting. Okay.
This felt like some Fast and Furious shit.
100%. They had the great Easter eggs of, you have your cart customization. I was hoping someone's
Yep.
going to pick little wheels. Because that's always funny.
Right,
10
yeah.
out of 10 times. It's always hilarious to pick the little wheels.
My favorite Easter egg from that section was there's a really brief moment where Mario does the drift boost. He
Yep.
drifts for a split second and he gets a boost. I was like, and that's where I say, like, a lot of people have complained that there's no care into at least the story aspect. I feel like there's so much care into the animation and all of the
Absolutely.
stuff in there. And it's just like, oh, it's just so much fun to watch. Like I said, the eye candy is through the roof.
Right. I hate to compare it to Halo, but it does give
Oh,
me kind of
boy.
like that. It gives me the same situation where like there's definitely a dissonance between the writing and then everyone else. Because like the art direction is top notch, amazing. Like you said, the Easter eggs, top notch, amazing. You could tell like some of the people that worked on this really cared. But then
Right.
maybe the biggest people that had the most influence, maybe not so much. And that's where it's kind of like, okay, I get it. Because like you said, like it's like they didn't have to put that in there. They wouldn't have lost anything for not putting it in anything, but they gained so much from doing that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's my biggest thing.
It's true though. Obviously, yeah, we get the big blue shell at the end, which is pretty hilarious. And then yeah, the last like kind of bits, the Mario Donkey Kong team up. Obviously, Mario gets the Tanuki suit, which was great. I love how Luigi calls him a bear. He's like, why are you dressed as a bear? Because it's a ridiculous world. It's ridiculous. The power-ups, I like the way they incorporated them, where like you take a hit and then you lose the power-up. Mario gets the cat power-up versus that Donkey Kong fight, which he absolutely just destroys Donkey Kong.
I mean, that was some of those things are a little on the nose. I do think the one hit and then losing it was kind of like, oh, okay, we're just making this a video game. The Tanuki thing was funny to me specifically because a lot of people don't know what a Tanuki is. It's specifically a Japan animal. It is a real animal that exists.
I didn't know that either.
it kind of looks like a mix between a raccoon and a dog. And one of the things about it is the fact that it does just look so ridiculous. No one really knows what it is. So that's why the bear thing I think is that much funnier. There's something special about them as well. I think they call them like Masters of Skies, so that's supposed to be the big thing about it as well.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, it is a real animal, and they're super cute and super weird.
Very cool. I think that's kind of it. Any last Easter eggs? Obviously, one of the highlights also, Luma, the little star in Luigi's prison, is a fucking nightmare.
Incredibly dark, incredibly cynical, nihilistic. Really awful. That was a joke. All those jokes were so not for children.
No, my favorite was when Luma boos when they don't die in the whole
the sweet relief of death.
Oh my
I do think that was a good addition. A lot of the jokes in this movie do land, I think, fairly well. For sure. I do want to give props to Anya Taylor-Joy when it comes to Peach's performance. I was a little nervous at first when I first heard her in the trailers that I was like, I don't feel like she's gonna be giving anything.
Right.
But between her and the animation of Peach herself and the facial expressions and things like that, I think she did a great job. So I hope she's getting props. I know a lot of people had issues with her being a girl boss. If you were mad about her being a girl boss and think this is a woke movie, you're stupid.
You think Mario's woke?
Because basically you haven't played enough Mario video games. Because Peach has been pretty competent in a lot of video games outside of the original ones where she's the princess in the castle. Play New Super Mario Brothers Wii. And she can do plenty, like shit like I don't know, whatever. So that was cool.
Yeah, no, I think she did good. Speaking of Peach, this movie made me realize that I did not know for the entirety of Peach that her bangs make a heart.
I didn't either. Yeah, 100%. When they said that, yeah, the girl with the heart bangs, I was like, huh?
I had no clue.
Yeah, someone there on my phone, like, what the fuck? Are you sure? Like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sure. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I thought she did a great job too. Yeah, because like you said, between her and Chris Pratt, I was like, I'm worried that they're just gonna do themselves, and it worked. I thought it worked in terms of the movie. I thought she did a great job. Yeah. Last minute things. I thought Mario's gonna fuck our planet when he let that bomber Bill go through the portal and kill all of us. I thought we were all gonna die. Tiny mushroom. Obviously, Bowser gets that tiny mushroom, becomes tiny. They don't kill him. Obviously, very fun. I guess one of my biggest things was I thought they could be used like 5 minutes more of an epilogue at the end, just kind of
Yeah.
tidying everything up. It just ends very quickly all of a sudden.
Right. The world still seems like it's probably kind of fucked. He just ends up back like he's living in Mushroom Kingdom world.
He said, "Fuck Brooklyn."
Yeah, which I thought was interesting considering he fucked Brooklyn, literally. That seemed pretty weird.
Very interesting. Okay. And then we got a Yoshi post credit. Cracking out an egg. We see obviously a bunch of Yoshis earlier in the movie, but I guess
But no
this is going to
green
be
ones.
actual Yoshi.
Yeah, no green
Mhm.
Yoshis. Which I love Yoshi's Story. That's one of my favorite games of all time.
I never beat it, you know?
I doubt I
Like-
ever did either. I was a child. But I did love that game with all of my being because I love being Blue Yoshi. That was my favorite thing.
Yeah. That's, I feel like, pretty much the movie. Only last two Easter eggs I really have. Obviously, we see Pauline is a reporter in Brooklyn. She's a character that is, I don't think she's new, but I think she's kind of gained more popularity in the most recent.
Yeah, she was in
games.
Mario Odyssey, I believe.
Yeah,
But she was in like
yeah.
some comic and cartoon stuff. I remember Pauline.
Right. And then the line, I don't know if you caught it. There's like a funny antique store in the Mushroom Kingdom. And one of the toads that's running is like, does this work? It's like, yeah, it works. All you gotta just blow into it and it'll work. And I thought that was a fun N64 callback.
That is funny. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I didn't catch that one. A couple of the ones that I had was Mario, of course, was playing Kid Icarus when he was in his room.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're finished was a big thing. To kind of be like a parallel, like, yeah, he's fucked up. Ice Climbers had an Ice Climbers poster.
Oh,
in
I
his
didn't
room
see
as
that.
well.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. There was another poster as well. I didn't recognize that one. There was an Ice Climbers poster. Also, Star Fox's ship was on his TV, on the top of his TV.
Oh, no way. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, those are the big ones I had. Of course, the Donkey Kong. We're talking about Donkey Kong. They had the plumbers rap, the DK rap. That's from Donkey Kong 64. That's the very
Yes.
beginning before you hit the start button.
Right,
the Donkey Kong rap.
right.
Really goofy, really awful. The guy did go on Twitter and be like, I never expected this to see the light of day ever again. I'm really embarrassed.
I heard he was also kind of upset that he didn't get credit for it.
Yeah, he didn't get credited for it. And I thought that was kind of weird. But
Yeah, it might be also a thing where, Nintendo's like, we own the rights to your song, so we give credit to ourselves.
I would like to thank me for making
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, again, like, I will say, see the kids will love this. Like, kids are gonna eat the fuck out of this movie. It's making so much money, obviously. I would like to see this universe continue.
Yeah, my biggest thing was I saw a lot of people on Twitter talking about how they were surprised their children, saying they were going to pack their bags to go to school and then pass the school and go straight to the movie theater.
Aww.
Like, that's such a nostalgic like feeling, and especially like it's one of those things that you get to share something from your childhood with your
Yes.
children. And that's why I think I like Sonic so much as well, coming back. As much as what critics want to say about this movie, this is something that transcends time almost.
Yeah.
You'll have fun. Your children will have fun, and it'll make those core memories that I think are just so special that it matters more than a review. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
fuck a review. At the end of the day, I do be talking a lot of shit, but it's more about the experiences you have with the people you love and doing the things that you like.
Right.
So go see this movie. Why not? Fuck it. You know what I mean?
Go see it. I think you'll have a good time. Absolutely. Last thing, Francis the dog is a menace. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh shit! I love when he gives the head nod at the end where he's like, "We good."
We cool now.
That felt very Pixar. That was a good addition.
Yeah, absolutely. And then my last thing, because I just remembered, I definitely had my prediction wrong. No Wario post-credit scene. I was wrong
That's
about
what I
that.
thought as well. I was not expecting Yoshi. I was really expecting Wario.
Yeah, same here. And yeah, we'll see where this continues. I will guarantee they're already writing Mario 2. It'll probably take them about a week to write it. And is this, just last question for you, Brian, is this the best video game movie so far?
I'm still gonna say Sonic 2.
Sonic 2.
Say what I said.
I have to go back and watch Sonic 2 because I don't remember. I remember walking out of the theater, Sonic 2, loving the shit out of it and having so much fun. I think this is at the top because it's the freshest, obviously.
I think this looks way better than Sonic 2.
Oh, yeah.
So like as far as images staying in my mind, this would be. But I feel like as
Yeah.
far as storytelling and the things that like, I feel like the stuff that did hit harder for me.
Right. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. They both end the same fucking way. So fucking superstar and they kick ass.
Funny how that works, right? Yeah.
I will say, watching Mario and Luigi just blaze through the whole fucking everyone was amazing.
That's how it feels, right? Like that shit feels good.
It's dope as hell. They even did that fucking dopey ass Mario 64 run with the arms out to the side.
Yeah.
It was great. That's about it. That is our main topic, everyone. Go check out the Mario movie. Brian, shall we now move into our our final segment of the week?
Let's do it.
Let's go. And look, we have 2 new guests again. Hey, Alex and Brian, Devin.
Hey, yeah. So I lost all my lives pretty quickly. So, I'm back.
Oh, bummer. Yeah, let's hop into our final segment of the week, which we like to call Free for All, title pending. This is a segment, listeners, we can kind of do whatever we want. We can talk about our life, talk about our day, fight, argue, nap, all of the above, or none of the above. It's free for all. Alex, why don't you hit us up with your first free for all?
Yeah, I'm gonna go first. I got a exciting new, maybe not new, but an exciting show that I just finished with Bambi, and maybe you guys caught it on Netflix. It's the new season of You. Yeah, did you guys catch it? Anybody?
I have watched literally one episode of the new season, and I have not come back to it.
Brian, you were like the biggest fan I knew.
I was the guy. I don't know. Everything else, life has been happening. So many shows have been on TV.
For sure, yeah.
It kind of took the back burner because people stopped talking about it so quickly. The world moves so quickly. Pop culture makes it hard.
Well, I also think it's a thing with Netflix. They don't do week to week, so it's not like people just binge it in the weekend and then it's gone from the zeitgeist forever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like this season. I feel like this is one of the best shows secretly on Netflix because every season just enhances the last season. Like it builds upon itself so well and takes things into so many different like avenues where it doesn't really get old. Like I don't know. It's just so like unexpected. Like the arcs that are gonna happen, like the new settings and stuff like that. Like yeah, he's the first season he's like stalking and killing people. And you could see that for 4 seasons getting really old, but somehow it's very, very creative and feels new, and somehow you're always rooting for this deranged, crazy person.
It is a weird thing, man.
Like, I just want him to get away and kill more people.
Yeah, I know. At least for the last season, is the best part for me was its commitment to humor. The show started out like it felt fairly serious. It's always had like a kind of, I want to say light tone is the right thing for it, but they definitely got more into almost, it gives me kind of Grand Theft Auto vibes where it's a lot of times it's like a commentary on like things that happen in the world, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that they'll kind of
especially with them being in California and hanging out with like the Valley people.
Yes, 100%.
I feel like it was very like almost self-aware. Even it was just very, very commentary on like American society. And media and stuff. Yeah, I think third season was probably the best season for me because of the comedy. But this new season feels the most different. Like, I would recommend it. Especially Brian, if I know you enjoyed the other seasons, I would check it out because it feels the most unique to the other seasons, especially with who the You character is. There's always like a new You that he's obsessed with. Every season's a new person that he's like, you are the person that I will kill anybody for, and he does. But yeah, it was really cool.
The little bit I did hear about this show was a little bit divisive. People seem like they either liked it or they hated it.
Okay,
so I'm glad to hear like a positive response that they do.
Yeah,
I think it's good for what it is. I do think that people maybe take it a little bit too seriously.
I mean, yeah, it's a silly show. Like there's a lot of plot holes, but it's just a fun like silly time. It's not as funny as season 3, but it's a good time. I think they dial back on the humor and get a tiny bit serious, but it's still like, this is freaking ridiculous.
Right. This wasn't the final season, was it?
I mean, it could be, but who knows?
Right.
They didn't, I don't think they outright said so.
Gotcha. Nice. Yeah, I've never watched the show. Humans are weird, bro. We're weirdly obsessed with weird, fucked up shit.
Things that should be really taboo in human life, like, losing human life. We turn into a joke. Because why not?
We do. Yeah. That's hilarious. Nice, Alex.
Yeah.
I can quickly go next. Mine is a music-based thing in the sense that, past like couple months, because as you guys and listeners might know, I really like scores to movies, in terms of like just the musicality of them and like listening to them. I have a couple like favorites. Like I do love like a lot of the Man of Steel soundtrack, and so I've been listening to a lot of from recent movies in the past. So I started with I don't even remember. I definitely have listened to the entire Avatar 2 score, which is pretty phenomenal. There's a couple
Nice.
great, awesome songs on there. I listened to Black Panther, which made me end up going back to the first Black Panther score, which is fucking dope. And I listened to the Creed one because a lot of the most recent movies coming out, I was like, oh, that's a cool song. And then I just go on a list of listening to the whole soundtrack. And then one that took me like a week to get through because it was I think roughly like 9 hours of music. I listened to every single Attack on Titan score.
Oh shit!
After the most recent special, I was like, "Oh, I'm back in this music. Let's get back into it."
That's kind of crazy that an anime has
that's
9
hilarious.
hours worth of music. Like, I don't know if that's heard of in anime. You know what I mean?
There's
like,
one
I might
for
be wrong there.
every season,
Yeah.
including 2 for the final season because they split it. Like,
Wow.
there's 5 albums there. It's ridiculous.
That's a lot of like money put into a TV show. That's kind of
Yeah.
wild.
Dude, I remember texting Oscar after we did the last Attack on Titan one, and I like went on YouTube and like looked at like the band that like does the themes for Attack on Titan, and they had the most lit concert ever. And Oscar was like, "Oh yeah, I've already watched it on YouTube." But dude, they had that concert
Dude, it's
looked
hype.
fucking
It's
sick,
fucking
like
hype, man.
to be
That's
there.
cool.
And so yeah, I was just been doing that a lot. I started obviously with Super Mario. And me and Brian have talked to about it at this point. The music in that movie's phenomenal. One of the highlights. And so I've listened to a couple songs from it.
Interesting.
It's just fun. Yeah. So yeah, lots of music,
That's
lots
cool,
of fun
man.
stuff. I'm excited to go back and listen to more stuff.
Like the thematic thing of the Mario that from the trailer didn't bother you, or did maybe
No,
that was
because
just from the
I,
trailer?
unlike you, it's hit or miss for me. I love it when they turn a theme into like some weird, big, bombastic, epic theme. I kind of love that sometimes.
Oh my god! But it doesn't hit with Mario.
It
though.
worked
You
for me,
can't
man.
make
I
that
don't know what to
epic.
tell you.
I agree with you. It depends.
It
I did not
depends,
hate it
yeah.
in this movie, in the Mario movie. But yeah, it can be weird.
Did they do something cool with the music there? I feel like they would have to.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah, like throughout the whole, there's so much of the themes integrated in all of the music, and yes, like Devin said, they've done orchestral versions of those themes. Like they've kept the essence of it every now and then,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of this, like what they do with a lot of stuff. But I enjoy a lot most of the time.
Love a good movie soundtrack, especially a good one.
Good video game ones too. Final Fantasy X, best video game soundtrack of all time.
Oh, interesting.
Damn. Okay. I'll add it to the list.
I listened to 7 and
Kingdom Hearts.
or 7. Yeah, 7 a lot in Kingdom Hearts and Pokemon.
Say if you like Kingdom Hearts, I think you would like 10 then. I think they have a lot of similarities as far as the way that kind of music goes, but I think 10 is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I'll check that one out. I did play that one, so that's fun.
Nice.
I guess I can go real quick because Devin looks like he's in deep thought right now. I want to talk a little bit less about what I've enjoyed this week and more about a situation that I was in. It has to do around with the Mario movie and going to see the Mario movie and kind of how I feel about movie theaters right now and how I feel specifically about movie
Ooh.
theaters that serve food and drinks while you're in there.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh
I
no.
do always like the idea of like going to see like like a cinema and then having the people take your order. You get you can have drinks and like little alcoholic beverages and stuff like that. In essence, sounds fun. When you do that for a blockbuster movie and then add a packed theater with mostly children, it may have been one of the worst experiences of my life. I have never been so annoyed, and also some Brian lore, of course. I do struggle with some ADHD issues, so it's already hard for me to focus as it is. I don't go to a lot of movies because I need time off. I need a break. It's hard for me to sit down for 3 hours in a row. That's crazy for a normal person to have to do. This shit was rough.
Yeah, that does not sound like it's for you, Brian.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where it's like, they have to take orders like at the beginning of the movie, and then there's always going to be people running back and forth throughout the middle based on what people want. You have to press a little buzzer. People come in,
Right.
what you want to eat. That's fine, whatever. But like, I did not pay attention to a single trailer in that goddamn movie theater because that was the time where it was like, we are getting these orders, we are serving this food, we're running this food, we need to go. So half the time, I had a motherfucker in front of me, his butt directly in my face, as he's taking an order of a small child that wants 18 chicken nuggets, and then also the Super Mario super drink or whatever the fuck they called it. Because of course they had, memorabilia and merch and stuff that you can buy, and stupid drinks that taste all like ass water that cost you $8 for no reason. So they were doing all of that. So I'm over here trying to see the fucking new trailers and stuff, trying to see what Indiana Jones looks like, and I can't because I got a motherfucker's butt in my face. So that was already awful. There's children crying, screaming, yelling at things that weren't what you would think would be the right thing to yell at in a movie theater, all while spilling their popcorn at the same time. So like Mario would be like, "It's a me," and they're like, "Ah!" It's like, we haven't gotten there yet, bro. Like, we're not. That's not the cool part yet. The cool part is where he jumps on the Goomba. Like, what's happening here? Yeah, it was just a mess. It was just so intense and annoying, and I just really like. I would have really much preferred. And I think that might be an issue with me as well. I live by a theater that's like, I'm the only person that goes there. I swear. Most times when I go to the movies, I'm the only person in there. I would have preferred to see the movie that way. And I know it's part of it's just children, but I also think that is an issue even when it's not children. It's just too much going on for me to really focus and immerse myself in what's supposed to be an immersive experience as a movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's the big screen's for a reason. It's a big screen so I can immerse myself. So that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to go to an eating theater anytime soon after that. That kind of soured my experience for a while.
That's fair, dude. Yeah.
Brian is traumatized.
Yeah, I might have been a little traumatized.
I think the eating theaters only work when it's been in theaters for like weeks on like the tail end of the run, or if it's a comedy that you don't care about.
Right.
You're just here for like there for like a good time.
So I love the idea of being able to eat and drink while I go to movies.
Oh yeah. I'm right there with you. I have a hard time
or
enjoying
if it's,
those.
the Alamo, which is the first theater that I experienced that did that.
Alamo does it good.
And they have a strict rule, like if you talking, they will kick your ass out.
Oh shit! I didn't know that serious about that. Wow.
Yeah. You will not get your money back.
That was another thing. So yeah, people definitely got a lot more comfortable just talking during the movie because I think it just felt kind of more like a bar than it did a movie theater. To be honest,
that's never great.
That reminds me. I think we were all there for this in college.
I know exactly
story for the listeners, but we went to see Bridesmaids together as like some people from the floor. Do y'all remember? I think her name was.
We'll cut
she just
that.
answered
We'll cut
her
name,
phone in the theater. What was her name?
I said we'll cut her name. We'll cut that.
Oh yeah, sorry. Either way, she was like from.
We'll cut that too.
Like,
Jesus Christ, Devin. Just tell everyone her phone number.
It's okay.
Why not?
She's with.
Jesus.
But no,
she was a nice lady. She was a very sweet lady.
Yeah, she was a very sweet girl. You know. Anyway,
just be blasting.
This girl, we'll just call her. We'll just call her.
No, just say this. Just oh my God, Devin. Stop saying her fucking name, dude. All of this is cut.
Anyway,
Christ.
Do y'all remember her phone goes off?
Yes.
And not only does she like, because like obviously if your phone goes off, horror story, whatever, you just like click it, make it shut up. You know, you keep watching the movie. She takes her phone out of her bag, which takes her like a good 10 seconds to get to it. Not only does she just, and like, I'm like, oh, she's just going to click it off. It's fine. She answers it in the theater. And not only does she not whisper on it, she's like talking at like a room, like a regular volume. Like, hey, I can't talk. I'm in a movie right now. And I was like sitting next to her. Like, yes, you are. Why are you talking to this person?
I totally forgot about that. But yes, that was very funny.
Because that theater was packed to the brim.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
I mean, luckily it was Bridesmaids, so I guess it was, like not, it was a comedy, so you could get away with that. But like, man, I was mortified. That was, It's like, I don't know her.
Was pissed.
I don't know her at all.
You know, because this is the only story he brings up this often I can remember. He's still holding a grudge like it's fucking Star Wars with this shit.
I just, man, that went straight to my core memories.
Yeah, that's a core memory right
that
there.
memory's never getting deleted.
Anyway. All right, well, real quick, let me just wrap it up. My girlfriend showed me one of her favorite movies called Age of Adeline. Beautiful story.
I've seen some of that.
Have any of y'all seen it?
Was that the one with Blake Lively?
Yeah.
Never seen it, but.
Oh, is that the movie where this happens and then this and then and they? Yeah,
Never
seen that. Never heard of
it. Well, Oscar is definitely worth watching, so I do recommend it. Also, because I didn't see the trailer, at the climax of the movie, there was a great twist that I did not see coming with a surprise visit from a guest actor.
Gotta watch less trailers, listeners.
Yeah, don't watch the trailers.
We are big fans.
Teasers, I'll do. 30 seconds of a trailer, I'll do. But
teaser's fine. That teaser's about all I need. Nice. There you go.
Very nice. Because I forgot, as usual, shout out to God of War Ragnarok. Got it in, boys. All right. That is the end of our show, listeners. Remember, you can email us at thefortressof@gmail.com. Fortress spelled F-O-U-R. Feel free to email us any questions, feedback, or recommendations, or anything like that. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and the YouTube channel at The Fortress of. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your cats. Rate and review us. Follow the 3 R's. Rate, review, recommend us to all of your friends and family. Thank you, Jackie, for helping edit the podcast every week. Thank you, Brian, for the art. Alex, for the music. And Devin, thank you for being here, even when you're not here. You can find Brian on Instagram at ITZ_by the way, Alex at Peterson Films, and Devin, you can find him on the cutting room floor.
Nope.
Next week, who knows? We'll find out.
Ooh.
As usual, happy holidays, everyone.
Yahoo!
And put a code on Squad out there. Let's a good
It's a me, Mario. Did I do the voice well, guys? I'm trying to. Mario 2's coming out. I'm hoping I get the first one.
Oh, yeah, I like it. You sound just like Mario.
Sound just like Chris.
All right, listeners, we'll see you here next week on another episode in the Fortress of